in-person and Zoom friends to this Unitarian Universalist Society. My name is Ellen Sale. I use she or they pronouns. I am a member of the Board of Trustees. You can recognize board members by the tabs on our name tags. We would love to speak with you about your experiences of our congregation. Our monthly board meeting will take place this Thursday. Meetings are open to members of the congregation. You may also contact us at board@uussocietyamherst.org. Our congregation is made from the lives of its people, those whose voices have shaped our vision for decades, and those of us who have come more recently, bringing new energy and passion. Each of us has something to offer, and each of us is worthy of care. We are all growing, all learning, all loved. Just as you are welcomed here.
I'm the Reverend Rachel Hayes, minister of this congregation. I use she, her pronouns. I call us to worship this morning with words from Elizabeth Wynne, and there are 3 echo lines for the congregation that are going to be on the screen. Okay, and I'll cue you. As Unitarian Universalists, our journey is to transform the big and the small, to transform ourselves and to transform the world. Universalism means no one is outside of the circle of love and no one is disposable. No one is outside of the circle of love and no one is disposable. We stubbornly seek out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what. Interdependence means none of us is truly free until we are all free and our thriving is bound up in the earth's thriving. None of us is truly free until we are all free. We struggle for liberation from the violence of white supremacy, sexism, ableism, classism, and heterosexism. Our covenants mean we make promises to our communities to honor love and justice above all else. We make promises to honor love and justice above all else. In the light of these shared commitments, come, let us worship. I invite you to say the chalice lighting words with me as Ian lights our chalice. We light this flame to invite a world of peace, where we heal the wounds, where we share what we have with one another, where justice is another word for relationship, and we listen for what love has to say. I invite you to rise in body, spirit, heart, and voice to sing our first hymn, Come and Go With Me, on the screen and your order of service, and number 1018 in the teal hymnal. from time to time, I invite you to recite our congregation's covenant with me. Covenant, that's what we're doing. Love is the spirit of this community. We dwell together in peace. We seek truth and justice in love. We honor everyone's worth and dignity. And we do the work of building the beloved community in our world. So, for our Time for All Ages today, I brought a really cool book, and if anybody, including children or possibly choir members, wants to see it, please come join me on the steps. This is We Are the Builders, which was written by Deepa Iyer and illustrated by Romina Galata. And it's autographed. Okay. Welcome to our community day. Ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? We are the builders. We form and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? Anybody want to join the builders? Yeah, nice. All right. We are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all, near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help, my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? Nice. All right. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect, stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits, gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? Nice. Yeah. We are the disruptors. We declare, demand, demonstrate, call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners and beats, meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? Yeah, I've seen some disruptors recently. Yeah. We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise, solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? Yeah. Okay. We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, find what connects you and me. Who wants to join the weavers? We are the healers. We renew, restore, and relieve. Tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? Yeah, right on, Adar. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art, bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, histories cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Yeah, nice. Of the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that it's clear what we each can do, we want to hear from all of you. What role would you be? Or that's not how it goes. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change your community? Any ideas? How would you change your community? There are so many cool ways to get involved and help. You don't have to use one of the words that was in the book, but if you have any ideas of a thing that would make our community better, what would you think? Yeah, Sarah?
I work for a company where we help save energy and water.
Oh, helping to save energy and water. Very important. Yeah. Any other thoughts? You don't have to have your whole plan today. This is like a whole life of work, and you can change your role as you go along, right? So you might be a weaver for a while, and then you learn so much that you become a guide, right? And there are so many ways to get involved and participate in the community that there's not just one right way to do it. And I really appreciate that about this book, because sometimes I feel like I'm doing it the wrong way, and then I remember that there are a lot of ways. Yeah. Thank you all for reading the book with me. Okay, so what is happening in elementary RE this morning?
Hello, good morning. Can everyone?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're going to be learning about food pantries today. We have a very, very lovely book. And then for anyone who doesn't know, I work at the Amherst Survival Center. And so we're going to be making, everyone will be cutting out and tracing out leaves for our annual thankfulness tree, which will be a huge help.
Great. Yeah. What's happening in JYG today?
We are looking at why the Unitarians and the Congregationalists split paths in the 19th century, and we're using nature art to help us understand the transcendentalists.
All right, so yeah, big thinking. I know, let's all be in junior youth group, right? Please, some of you stay up here. Okay, and now let's sing Once to Every Soul and Nation, hymn number 119, and on the screen as our religious education classes go downstairs. preached the glossary service 3 weeks ago, I encountered a question that was too big to fit into the time we had for that service, and I'll try to do it justice today. It was about the term liberal religion. We have a tagline on our letterhead and now on our website that reads, "A liberal religious light since 1893." Since we just had the November election, I want to be clear that liberal, in the sense of liberal religion, does not necessarily describe the electoral politics of our congregation or the Unitarian Universalist religious movement. We don't endorse any candidates or parties. I do speak about how our values translate into public and collective power. Liberal religion is a term that describes not what a religion believes or how its people vote, but how its beliefs work, though those things frequently do go hand in hand. Liberal religion means, broadly, religion that is not limited by fixed doctrine, but instead contains a framework for further evolution. Many religions have a liberal tradition. We're not the only ones. In my seminary education alone, I read and studied with scholars from liberal Protestant Christian, Catholic, Jewish, Muslim, and Buddhist traditions. If this is new to you, just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Let me know if you want some book recommendations. I love talking about this stuff. In the Unitarian Universalist context, we have made a tradition of outgrowing our own previously held doctrine. We don't have a creed here. We do have shared values that guide our ethical decision-making. Those shared values are justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, grounded in a foundation of love. Conscience, reason, and inspiration are our tools in making ethical decisions. To go back to 19th century Unitarianism, kind of reflective of the hymn that we just sang, actually, Theodore Parker preached about the transient and permanent aspects of Christianity. Doctrine on the nature of Christ, the miracles, the things Jesus did 2,000 years ago, all of that to Parker was transient. The teachings of love are permanent, and that is what we carry with us. And you know what? A lot of what Theodore Parker wrote turned out to be transient too. Liberal religion expects to grow and change. I really hope that 100 years from now, all of my ethical commitments, like all genders are sacred and trans people are free to live as their truest selves. Migration is a human right in an unstable world. People need the freedom to migrate and the safety to not migrate. All people deserve freedom and a say in their government. All people have the right to food, housing, healthcare, education, and support throughout their lives. You know, very radical stuff. I hope that all those ethical statements sound ridiculously outdated someday, and the sooner the better, because then we will have built a world where those things are taken for granted. But the real question here, from the person who submitted this term for the glossary service, was, is there such a thing as radical religion? And I don't frequently hear those words together, though Unitarian Universalists and others do talk about radical, meaning grasping something at the root, getting the whole metaphorical carrot, I guess, and not just the leaves. I more frequently hear us talk about the difference between liberal theologies and liberation theologies. Liberal religion, with its liberal theologies, is concerned with the growth and freedom of the individuals who practice and believe in them. Liberation theologies are concerned with generating freedom where it's missing. In seminary, I studied Latin American liberation theology, Black liberation theology, Indigenous and Asian and African liberation theologies, women's and queer liberation theologies. My friend Rebecca Stevens-Walter is a children's liberation theologian. Liberation theologies ask, what does salvation mean for someone who is oppressed? I find this question fascinating when we hold it in the context of universalism, which is to say, all people are loved without reservation and deserve what they need to thrive. Liberation theology reminds us that those of us who face particular oppressions might need more than one-size-fits-all salvation. It's why we have a Black Lives Matter and a pride flag on the outside of our building. Sometimes loving everybody means being on the side of people particularly. Love makes demands of our consciences, and loving everybody means dismantling oppression for the freedom and healing of both the oppressed and the oppressor. Liberation theology, in a theistic frame, says that God is on the side of the oppressed. God never stops loving everyone, but sometimes love means stopping harm, righting wrongs, making sure the people who don't have enough get what they need. You can see this idea in the ministry of Bishop William Barber, Reverend Liz Theo Harris, and the Multi-Faith Coalition at the heart of the Poor People's Campaign. It says in the Bible and the religious texts of many traditions that how we treat those who are poor, those who have less power, matters more than who can offer the best sacrifice. The world has so many needs right now, and always, and none of them is more important, even if they seem to take turns as most dire and urgent. Food insecurity matters, and healthcare and safety for immigrants and trans and queer people, and disaster response, and really everything. In the beloved community, it all matters, from ending genocide down to the tiniest animal shelter. I often ask you to imagine the beloved community where everyone has what they need to thrive, where we no longer experience racism, poverty, militarism, where we build positive peace and settle conflict constructively without violence. I have never lived in the beloved community. It has not yet existed, at least in the sense of everyone in the whole world having what we need. But I have experienced it in tiny glimmers. A holiday dinner where everyone, including diabetics and vegans and omnivores and food allergics, all sat down hungry and got up satisfied. Yeah, those of you who don't have food allergies may not know how real that is. A meeting where people came together broken and in conflict and decided to meet the humanity in one another. Not to compromise or even agree to disagree, but simply to hear one another. Maybe even an election like this past Tuesday, in which voters all across the country repudiated the ongoing persecution of poor people, disabled people, immigrants, and trans and queer people by voting for change. It's not everything, but it was a glimmer. Like with most things collective liberation, I don't know how to get to the end goal from these tiny glimmers. I don't have a plan. But like any kid who grew up with the Ghostbusters, the X-Men, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe that having a plan is not nearly as important as having a team. Having a team means that we don't all need to have the same gifts, and it's better if we don't. Deepa Iyer's children's book, We Are the Builders, which I just read, as well as her helpful workbook, Social Change Now, A Guide for Reflection and Connection, propose 10 roles for social change. Frontline responders. These are the folks who mobilize quickly, who always seem ready to help and calm in the storm. The first example I can think of here is Luce, responding to ICE detentions. Luce was part of the ICE bystander training we hosted last month, and I'm so grateful that they are running the hotline for ICE sightings, verifying them, and helping those who have been detained and their families. Visionaries. These are the people who know where we're going, the ones who ask if the direction we are heading will get us to our ultimate goal. Sometimes these are the ones who wind up at the microphone at a protest, the ones who reconnect us to our hope. Builders. These folks do details, solve the problems, and get it done. We have a lot of builders in this congregation, and I appreciate you all so much. Disruptors. These are the people who take risks to call out injustice. Think of whistleblowers. Think of people in inflatable frog costumes pointing out the cruelty of our government. Caregivers. These are the folks who make it safe for others to get what they need and feel their feelings. We don't always name the caregivers as an important part of movements, but they're the ones who remind us to rest, make sure that we eat, and ask us how we're taking care of ourselves. We would fall apart without them. Experimenters are the out-of-the-box thinkers, the ones who are willing to try new things and see what works, what doesn't, and what we learn along the way. They call us beyond our comfort zones and have faith that we can survive and learn from things that don't go according to plan. Weavers are coalition builders, the ones who find what we have in common across perceived differences. They keep the larger ecosystem in mind and can look beyond self-interest. They build bridges between communities. Storytellers. These are the poets, the documentary filmmakers, the photographers, the ones who make a narrative out of the moments and complex characters out of the headlines. They connect the movement to its humanity. Healers. These are the people who move our society and movements, as well as our congregation, into healthier ways of being and interacting. This looks like practicing moving through emotions together, repairing relationships, sitting with grief. Guides are the wise elders, regardless of age, who translate their own experience for others to use, who know that some things may be different this time around, but their thoughtfulness can be a resource. The disruptors and weavers, for example, not to pick on anybody, don't understand things the same way or work the same way, but both roles, or really all 10, are necessary for creating a future that is actually for all of us. And infighting between people whose ultimate goals are aligned is a huge distraction from our collective liberation. Which is not to say that we need to play nice with those who dehumanize us and those we love, but the work we do to come together across difference is part of the work of building beloved community. Nobody is all of these social change roles. I tell myself that over and over, and sometimes it sinks in that I or you don't have to be good at all of them. Because together, we have one another. Collective liberation needs all of us working in our different ways, not all doing the same thing. Once again, we are called to connection, not perfection. So if you feel guilty that protests make you anxious, if you don't know the right thing to say when times are hard, if you hate phone banking, that is okay. It's just not your role. Do you believe me when I say that there are people who feel the joy of their community at a protest, who actually enjoy knocking on strangers' doors to canvass for an issue, who get a thrill from asking for donations? They really exist. I encourage you to find your role in making the world a better place, and the place that makes you feel alive and connected to your purpose. If you have time or money to give, and you can do so with joy, then you have found your place just right. And you know what? Maybe all you can do right now is survive, and that is enough. The world is a better place with you in it. Julian Jamaica Soto says, all of us need all of us to make it. So maybe sometimes it feels like we don't have time to get everybody free. But it won't be beloved community until everyone belongs. We're not piecemeal struggling people up into privilege. We're called to build something so much better. Joyfully interdependent for a world better than we have ever known. So it's not so much who has time for collective liberation as who has time to wait. None of us can do everything, and all of us can do something. All of us need all of us to make it. May we each find the gifts we can offer with delight. Amen.
Where we ought to be, and where
prayer was written by Elizabeth Wen. God of mercy, Spirit who makes peace out of war, who wanders with refugees and keeps vigil with children at our border and all borders. Holy healer in hospitals and shelters, at schools, in homes, at weddings and in planes. May your love be balm for all the hurt. May your truth be present in offices of power and in the hearts of soldiers and civilians alike. Many times we've thought the arc was bending toward justice. Many times we saw it happen in courtrooms and in streets, in the hearts of people creating their own liberation. Many times we've also doubted. For those of us this morning who doubt, who despair that brokenness and suffering and war may win, remind us of the small mercies, the tiny triumphs. Hope does dwell in this world. Blessed be, and amen. Please remain seated to sing our meditation hymn, Spirit of Life, number 123. Another world is possible. Each week, we collect an offering and we split it with an outside organization to help us remember that we can't make the world a better place on our own. During November, our congregation generously shares half of our offering basket with YARN, the Young Adult Revival Network. Half of the money collected in our offering today supports the life of our congregation. The other half of the money will support YARN in nurturing the spiritual lives of young adults. Please give generously today in the basket, by text, by check, or through our website, uusocietyamherst.org/donate. Please join me in the words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. We're about to sing our closing song. You are welcome to stay right where you are and be held in the love of this congregation, or to rise and move into a circle along the outer aisle. Place your hands over your heart. Hold hands with the person next to you as you choose, as we sing This Day We Come. I send you forth with these words by Sam Trumbore. Go forth in simplicity. Find and walk the path that leads to compassion and wisdom, that leads to happiness, peace, and ease. Welcome the stranger and open your heart to a world in need of healing. Be courageous before the forces of hate. Hold and embody a vision of the common good that serves the needs of all people.